Daniel. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm really here to get to know Zenith. I've been here about a week now, and we just launched. So I just want to introduce you to two of our health experts and jump right into it. Their names are Lorna and Jim. So Lorna is a women's health expert who's been researching and educating on nutritional medicine for over 35 years. She has a master's in nutrition and a second degree in biochemistry. Her passion and commitment to the integrity of evidence-based nutrition inspired her 13 books on topics from hormones and weight loss, inflammatory diseases, to beautiful skin and much more. Jim is a consultant in the dietary supplement industry, assisting companies, A-list celebrities, and well-known MDs in all aspects of product development, including product formulation, scientific validation, and claim substantiation. Prior to becoming a consultant for over 16 years, Jim headed up new product development for the world's largest dietary supplement brand, which achieved sales of $5 billion annually. And prior to that, headed up product development for a few of the leading companies in the dietary supplement industry, including 12 fast growth companies in the US, as well as the fastest growing network marketing history in US history. Jim is a patent holder, as well as published in both scientific journals, along with having taught nutrition at the university level, where he quickly became the #1 teacher at that university. Jim also has helped bring one of the more popular nootropics to the dietary supplement industry, as well as helping one of his clients with the prestigious Nutra Award for Best New Ingredient in the industry. Jim's primary focus is discovering the most clinically effective ingredients, products, and technologies available, and assisting his clients in bringing them to the marketplace. Lorna, I'll let you take it from there.
Well, thank you very much. We're incredibly excited to talk about Zenith today, both Jim and I. So I'll go through the presentation. It won't take that long. We've got about 15 slides. Jim might step in occasionally, and then we're going to leave lots of time to answer all of the questions that we have. So Zenith is really the most clinically effective weight loss product that's currently on the market. And I'd probably say, after you've looked at all of this research and evidence, that you think is probably the only clinically effective weight loss product. So Zenith contains 2 ingredients, HPMCs, which are 3 highly viscous non-fermentable fibers. And these 3 very specific fibers, I'm going to talk about their research shortly, as well as a combination of a proprietary mixture of 6 cetylated fatty acids. So these are very potent anti-inflammatory fatty acids. Now we're going to talk about the patents and the rationale behind Zenith. So the patents that have been granted, there's a US patent that's been granted with the great claim of methods to reduce body fat, as well as the method for increasing serum adiponectin for the treatment and reduction of the risk of cardiovascular, vascular, and related diseases. The patent shows a reduction in body fat and serum leptin using highly viscous polysaccharides. That's these highly viscous HPMCs. And the second ingredient, which is the esterified fatty acid combo, contains 6 very unique fatty acids combined, and their effectiveness is in regards to treating low-grade chronic inflammation in association with obesity. So let's look at the research. And this particular research study, it's very unique in the fact that it was actually conducted in the US. A lot of the research studies that we see in the nutraceutical industry are performed in other countries, particularly India or Japan. And it's nice when we can actually have a clinical trial that was performed on Americans or North Americans. And the unique part of this study as well is that it was so well controlled. Everything right down to the fact that the participants had to attend the actual human performance laboratory to have all of their measurements done. They performed that laboratory, they attended that laboratory to also perform the exercises that were associated with this program. And all of this increases the validity of the clinical trial results. The other thing that's very exciting about this study that I think is really important is that they use DEXA scan to confirm the fat loss. And most women know DEXA scans in regards to using them determining if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, but it really is a gold standard in regards to determining body composition. And so this is quite exciting. And Dr. William Kramer at the Human Performance Laboratory at the University of Connecticut oversaw this particular clinical trial. So there were 22 women in the study. Their average age was around 37 years, plus or minus 7 years or so. It was a double-blind, placebo-controlled trial. It was 8 weeks long. The women were randomized 11 to placebo, 11 to the treatment group. Of course, the great thing about this study for the women who are on the call today is that this study was done in women. And, you know, often we don't get enough research that is dedicated to women. And as we know, women have a harder time losing weight. The study intervention was designed that they were eating about 1,500 calories a day, which was about a 500 calorie deficit. And they also had 30 to 60 minutes of exercise 4 to 5 times a week. So this was important because we know that diet and exercise works for weight loss. Then we add in the Zenith supplement. In regards to the dosage, it's 1,200 milligrams were given with the 2 largest meals per day for a total dose of 2,400 milligrams per day, along with the placebo group. This study was published in the European Journal of Applied Physiology. Let's look at what actually happened in the study over the 8-week period. So the effects of weight loss using Zenith in the in the placebo group, they lost 9.2 pounds of weight loss. In the treatment group taking the Zenith lost 20.2 pounds of weight loss over the 8-week period, which is more than double the weight loss that was experienced in the group that did not take the Zenith. The effects of Zenith on weight loss and fat loss, the Zenith group had an initial 10.5% drop in body weight, as well as a 25.6% initial body fat drop. That's dramatic compared to the placebo group that was far less, almost less than 50% less than the other group. The effects of Zenith on weight loss and fat loss per month. The group that in the first month, the weight loss in the Zenith group was 6.2 pounds and the fat loss was 9.2 pounds. In the second month, 14.1 pounds of weight loss and 12.1 pounds of fat loss. The overall fat loss was 21.3 pounds over the 8 weeks. I think that we want to talk about the fact that the weight loss continued, the fat loss continued, and the weight loss was larger in the second month than the first month. This is a synopsis or a summary of what actually occurred in the study. So the weight loss, the total weight loss was 20.2 pounds versus 9.2 pounds in the placebo group. That was an extra 11 pounds over the 8-week period, which is dramatic. And I think all of us will be very excited when we lose that 20.2 pounds. Per week, the group that was using the Zenith lost 2.5 pounds, which was an extra 1.3 pounds compared to the placebo group. In regards to the fat loss over the study period, there was a total of 21.3 pounds versus 10.8 pounds in the placebo group, which is again an extra 10.5 pounds of fat. And per week, the participants in the Zenith group lost 2.7 pounds, which was an extra 1.3 pounds compared to the placebo group. So although we know that diet and exercise works to lose weight, this gave such a dramatic increase in weight loss and fat loss in the Zenith group. The waist reduction, and as I said at the beginning, participants were measured, and the waist measurement reduction was 3.9 inches versus 2 inches in the placebo group. The hip and thigh measurement, the drop was 2.9 inches in thighs and 2.9 inches in the hips and 1.2 inches in the thighs. And we're going to talk about the hormones that are changed, and serum adiponectin increased by 116% and serum leptin dropped by 43%. And I'm going to talk about why that is so significant and what makes this product so unique. So let's talk a little bit about leptin, what leptin does in the body, and what leptin resistance is, so we can really understand how important this is in regards to how Zenith works in the body. So leptin is a key hormone that makes you feel full or satisfied, and it's made by your fat cells. Overweight and obese people, and women especially, have much higher levels of leptin. But what happens is the body becomes insensitive to that leptin. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about leptin resistance, similar to insulin resistance that you may have heard about in metabolic syndrome or prediabetes. So leptin resistance is a hormonal defect. It's now believed to be one of the main biological contributors to obesity. And when your brain doesn't receive the leptin signal, it wrongly thinks that your body is starving, even though it has more than enough energy. We call energy basically stored fat.
Yeah, I mean, they're fun to go to.
I think somebody's went off mute, actually.
Especially in that.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna mute out everyone. I'm gonna mute everyone. Hold on, please.
Well, and you don't feel.
Okay, Lauren, I'm gonna unmute you, and I'm gonna have everyone else will stay unmuted. I mean, muted. Lorna, hold on. Okay, and also Dr. Jim, you should get a request to unmute. Lorna, you should be seeing a request to unmute.
There we go.
Thank you.
I think I'm unmuted now. Thank you very much. That probably makes things a little bit simpler. I'll go back and tell you a little bit about leptin resistance. So when your brain doesn't receive the leptin signal, it wrongly thinks that your body's starving. And even though it has more than enough energy stored for future use, meaning more fat stored for future use by the body, this makes a change in your brain, and the brain actually changes its behavior in order to regain body fat. And your brain then encourages you to eat more and reduce energy consumption so you don't burn calories effectively. For most people who struggle with leptin resistance, willing yourself, so this is when you tell yourself, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to eat. Willing yourself to overcome the leptin-driven starvation signal is next to impossible. And anybody who has this constant urge to eat knows that willing it away doesn't work. And someone sent in a question asking why we would keep taking Zenith, or why we would keep taking Zenith after we have lost the weight we want, and should we continue to take Zenith? And the answer is a resounding yes. And the reason why is because if your brain has been dealing with leptin resistance for a while, it will constantly go back to the state of telling you that you're hungry and you should eat. And this is why people gain all the weight back after they've dieted, after they've lost that weight, and even more after dieting. So Zenith can keep that leptin signal working properly long-term. And I know on your website, you've got a simplified version of, when you eat, leptin goes up, the more fat and the bigger your fat cells are, the higher your leptin goes. And long-term, this causes leptin resistance. So even though your leptin levels might be coming down because you've lost weight, you don't get the message from your brain. And when that happens, you have constant overeating. And another big thing happens is that your thyroid function becomes impaired. So leptin resistance is directly linked to impaired thyroid function, which leads to weight gain, decreased metabolism, and elevated leptin or leptin resistance literally disrupts those thyroid hormones. And for the women on the call, this is truly a big problem because we have an epidemic of low thyroid. What happens when your leptin is elevated long-term is that it stimulates thyroid releasing hormone to increase TSH. TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone. And when your thyroid stimulating hormone levels go up, this is what leads to low thyroid. And if you've ever had a thyroid test, they'll look at your TSH. And when the number is high, this is when you get diagnosed with low thyroid. We already know that low thyroid leads to further weight gain. Another thing that happens when your leptin levels are elevated or you have leptin resistance is it suppresses the conversion of your T4 thyroid hormone, which is an inactive form of thyroid hormone to the more potent or more active T3. So the connection between leptin and thyroid is really a big contributing factor, especially for women in weight loss. We're going to talk about adiponectin now. So Zenith has a wonderful effect on adiponectin. Oh, and before I go forward, I just want to say that what Zenith does is it lowers your leptin levels naturally and starts to retrain your brain so that it can understand the leptin signal. So that's the connection with Zenith, and it has a profound effect, and this is what was shown in the clinical trial. So let's talk about adiponectin, which is another key hormone made by our fat cells. Obese people have much lower levels of adiponectin, and adiponectin has great results in increasing fat burning. It increases insulin sensitivity. You know, we don't want our insulin levels to build up in the blood. This is when we start to develop insulin resistance and, of course, prediabetes and diabetes. Adiponectin is also involved in increasing circulation in the body. It decreases inflammation, and it also decreases the production of sugar. And a lot of people today are on keto diets. And one of the things that adiponectin does is it decreases the production of sugar that is made from ketone bodies. So most people don't realize that when they go on keto diets, they're creating a lot of ketone bodies, which can be converted into sugars in the body. One of the interesting things that happened in this study is that Zenith more than doubled adiponectin levels. And you want to have good high levels of adiponectin to have appropriate weight management. So let's just do an overview on the takeaways. So we know that dieting and exercise do work. We know that Zenith doubles the effects of diet and exercise. It doubles weight loss. There was an extra 11 pounds of weight loss over the 8 weeks. So 20.2 pounds versus 9.2 pounds, as well an extra 1.3 pounds of weight loss per week. So we had 2.7 pounds, which is quite dramatic. It doubles fat loss, an extra 10.5 pounds of fat loss. So that was 21.3 pounds of fat loss versus 10.8 pounds in the placebo group, and an extra 1.3 pounds of fat loss per week. Zenith also doubles the loss in waist circumference, so 3.9 inches in the waist versus 2 inches, and 100% of the weight loss was due to fat loss. So 21.3 pounds of fat loss versus 20.2 pounds of weight loss. And we really want to lose this fat. You know, fat has its own hormone factory going on in it as well. Overall, Zenith doubles the effects of dieting and exercise. And all of the above benefits are a result of ingesting just 2 capsules of Zenith twice a day before 2 main meals. So let's look at the caloric intake, because both groups basically had a non-significant difference in their caloric intake. So the placebo group and the Zenith group. There's also supporting animal data. There are 5 studies, one showing that Zenith is a prebiotic that beneficially alters gut microbiome, that the HPMC is a prebiotic beneficially altering gut microbiome. We see a decrease in intestinal permeability, which is leaky gut. There was an increase in bile acids and cholesterol excretion. And one of the things that was found is that it could lower cholesterol levels. There's also an increase in AMPK, which is a key anti-aging molecule. And Jim and I have talked about the fact that it's not unlike the way that metformin works in increasing AMPK without the side effects, of course. And it increases mitochondrial biogenesis, which is associated with anti-aging. So these are just some of the other animal data that is present, and hopefully in the future, we'll continue to do more research and look at some of these areas of interesting health benefits. So in regards to product development, there are 2 US patents. The products are GRAS, so they're generally recognized as safe. Both ingredients are incredibly safe. The ingredients have great regulatory benefits. They're both acceptable and currently sold in the US as well as Canada. And so I'm going to open the floor for questions. And I know that I was sent a list of questions by the team, and I'm not sure if you want to deal with questions openly, or if you'd like me to go through the questions that were answered, or if we're
Yeah,
going
if
to
you
open
could,
up the floor.
yeah, we would like you to go through the questions that were emailed in, please.
Okay. And Jim, you can add anything, and probably a good time for Jim to make some comments about the presentation as well. Jim has been involved with the product for a very long time, and so he has incredible amount of experience with it.
Great job, Lorna.
Did you want to add to the presentation?
No, I think you did a great job.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go through the questions that were given to me. So physically, is this product for everyone? And if not, who is it not for? So I think that the only people who wouldn't take this product would be people on feeding tubes. It's incredibly safe. Both ingredients are incredibly safe. Why would you want to be on this long term? And I think that the answer to that was in my response about leptin resistance. And I think that if you've been trying to lose weight and you've been on yo-yo diets, or you've spent years, trying to lose weight, you lost weight, you gained it all back, you tried to lose weight, you lost weight, you gained it all back. That yo-yo dieting syndrome, or long-term weight gain, or simply being a woman, because we happen to have elevated leptin levels in general. I think if you want to maintain body composition, balance your leptin and adiponectin, and have a healthy non-fermentable fiber. Non-fermentable fiber means no gas. Then you definitely want to take this product long-term. Curbing appetite. Someone said curbing appetite doesn't make people not want to eat at all. Obviously, our bodies need fuel to survive. So how would you eat and fuel properly with a curbed appetite? I can tell you, you're still going to want to eat, and you're still going to have a desire to eat. So I don't think we have to worry about curbing appetite. The beauty of this is that you're going to maintain healthy body weight and have healthy weight management, and balance your leptin and adiponectin, so that you can actually eat the foods that you'd like to eat long term. How many folks were in the double-blind placebo-controlled study? That was 22. 11 were in the treatment group. 11 were randomized to the placebo group. There were no males in the study. Someone asked if it was randomized males versus females, and this study was done in women. The average age of the participants was 37, plus or minus 7 years. How does it work for women in menopause? And this is a great question. This product is excellent for women who are in perimenopause and menopause. We do know that when women enter perimenopause and menopause, they tend to have weight gain and what we call stubborn weight loss. So that's when we start to turn into an apple and get a lot more belly fat. So for women in this age category, especially with the connection between leptin and thyroid, and we know that women as they age tend to be more susceptible to developing low thyroid, which lowers metabolism and increases weight gain. So I think it's a perfect product for all women, definitely women who are in perimenopause and menopause. Next question was, what are the side effects? There weren't any. And I think the reason for this is that this is a non-fermenting insoluble fiber, which means that you just don't develop the gas and bloating. And, I think with any great program that you're on for weight loss, you want to drink lots of water, stay well hydrated on top of it all. What is the exact list of ingredients? Well, the good news is there are no excipients in this product. It's simply 3 highly viscous HPMC, as well as the 6 cetylated fatty acids. And so you don't get a whole bunch of other ingredients in here. Somebody asked if the product is different from other leptin resident products. And I wasn't really sure what a resident leptin product was, but I did look up the research around a couple of products. One is Leptitox and the other is Leptopril. And neither of these have clinical research, and their ingredients are rather interesting. The Leptitox is a combination of oats, alfalfa, psyllium, rhubarb, cascara, and buckthorn. And again, no research showing any direct effect to leptin. Leptopril was a green coffee bean, some amino acids, rhodiola, caffeine, and again, no clinical data showing a reduction in leptin that I could find over the last couple of days. Next questions are, can breastfeeding moms take this? And the answer is absolutely yes. These are two incredibly safe ingredients. What about pregnant moms? So Jim and I talked about this, and although the product is a very safe product, during pregnancy, it's really all about developing a healthy baby for fetal development. And so, you know, neither of us would really recommend weight loss during this time unless your physician is recommending weight loss. But both ingredients are incredibly safe. And I think that's probably the most important part of the messaging. Does this product cross the placenta or blood-brain barrier? And there's no research on crossing the blood-brain barrier. There was no research done in pregnant women, so we don't know about the placenta. And as I said earlier, it's perfectly safe for breastfeeding moms to take the product. They're all the ingredients in Zenith are grass. And there's really one of the other questions was about what age limit. Was there an age limit, or there was another question about children taking the product? And I think if we're looking at what kind of dose and how doses are generally determined, an adult dose, if we look at a weight specific dose, somewhere around 100, 120 pounds would be what an adult dose would be based on. And so if you have a child that is obese or overweight and is 100, 120 pounds, it would be perfectly safe for them to take the product. And again, it was a maximum dose of 2,400 milligrams per day, which were given in a 1,200 milligram twice a day dose. The next question was, are there medication interactions that we should be aware of? The rule of thumb, if you're on prescription medications, is that you should always take your nutrients 2 to 3 hours apart from prescription medications. And of course, if you're on blood thinners, you already know, because the warnings in the package say not to take blood thinners with anything. Have there been any bad reactions or negative side effects reported? And the answer is no. Can cancer patients take this product, and will chemo be a problem with this? And we would say there is no research in cancer patients. So that's not really a question for us to answer. Should physicians be lab testing leptin and adiponectin levels along with body composition before, during, and after starting this product? Well, this is always a great thing to do. You know, somebody can get their leptin and adiponectin levels tested. I mean, ultimately, this research was performed over 8 weeks with incredible results, and this product creates a change in the body in a very short period of time. So people are actually going to see it. It's not something we have to wait months for. As we saw in the first month, there was excellent weight loss and fat loss, and in the second month, even more and better weight loss and fat loss. So we don't have to wait a long time to actually physically see the change in the body. Another question was, are there ongoing research trials? At this moment, there is other research being done in animals. We haven't discussed doing more research, but I'm sure as we grow, we will definitely look at doing more research in the future. And especially, you know, because some of the effects that we have already seen in the animal trials, like stimulating AMPK, the prebiotic effects in animals, we'd like to prove the prebiotic effect in humans so we can actually state that. So I think that future research is definitely something that we'll look at as a company. So those were the questions I was sent. If there are further questions, Jim and I'd be happy to answer them.
What I'm going to do is I'll enable the chat so that we don't have people unmuting. And give me 1 second. So now you should see that the participants can talk directly with hosts and co-hosts. Can you guys see those?
Yes,
Perfect.
there are 99 chat questions.
Just
So,
take a
Jim,
few.
You might want to look at them and see if there are some that you can answer as well.
Yeah, I saw one about muscle, and I think that was a great question because in most clinical trials looking at weight loss, there typically is a good amount of muscle that's lost. And that actually is one of the very unique things about this product, is that not only did it double the weight loss and fat loss of exercise and dieting, but they actually gained 1.1 pound of lean body mass at the same time. So they literally lost no lean body mass, but actually gained 1.1 pounds of lean body mass during the 8 weeks. It's a great question. I see another one about being manufactured in the United States. Yes, that's actually one of the other things that we think is an advantage as well, especially with supply these days. And it is sourced and actually produced in the United States. With respect to GMP certified facility, yes, it will be produced or is produced at a GMP certified facility.
And I think I'd like us to put the disclaimer up. We are not, well, I am not a medical professional, nor are most people in our company. We're not to give medical advice ever. We want to protect the company, protect the brand, and protect our customers. So you always send them back to their physician with the ingredient list, which is very, very, very short list, and have them have their physician give them the 2 thumbs up.
I think that's very important because there's a couple of people, asking for more explanation about blood thinners. And I really think that's something, if someone's on blood thinners, they should be going back to their
100%.
doctor. Yeah.
Yes,
It shouldn't be
everyone.
something that we answer.
Right. So everyone asking medical questions, you're going to take this information. When I post the ingredients next week, you can send that right over to your physician if you have issues with anything and you're under medical supervision.
I saw another question there about the weight of the individuals. They were just a little over 190 pounds at the beginning of the trial. But as Lorna mentioned, and that is something I think worth repeating, when you think about the fact that these individuals were obese, these women were obese, average BMI just under 33. In 8 weeks, they lost over 25% of their entire body fat. That is truly remarkable. While again, not losing any lean body mass. And sorry if we're not hitting all of these. They're coming by a little fast. So
Yeah.
Someone
I do
asked
apologize.
about insulin resistance. Can we discuss?
Jim, you can take that one.
Yeah, so in this study, it was very interesting. They didn't measure postprandial insulin. They only measured fasting, and there was no significant difference between the 2 groups. And so we can't really respond to it based on this clinical trial. There is some other clinical data looking at the HPMCs where it did reduce significantly postprandial insulin. And just because they're losing based on everything else that is known in this area, the fact that they lost so much body fat, both groups, both of them would be increasing insulin sensitivity or reducing insulin insensitivity.
Excellent. Question that I've had quite a bit would be, what if I don't need to lose weight? Does this help with building muscle? What if someone is underweight? Would this product be for them or no?
I would take the product if I was average weight. You're not going to lose weight if you're underweight already. It's not going to cause you to lose more weight. I mean, if you think about some of the other benefits that are associated with it, like we're looking at a loss of subcutaneous fat, and there's questions here about cellulite. And when you have cellulite, it's that fat layer that's sitting underneath your skin. So there could be benefits there for people. And looking at the fact that your adiponectin and your leptin levels could get balanced. We don't know this because there weren't underweight people in the study, but you know, it's probably not something that an underweight person is going to want to take. But an average weight person like me, I'm definitely going to take it.
My husband's 51 and he's very healthy, no pharmaceuticals, but wanted to lose about 15 or 20, and he's already down 11 and looks like he lost about 25. And the change in his muscle tone and the body composition is extraordinary. So very excited to see. We have a lot of men who are testing this, guys, and the photos have been put up. You'll see more, but what an amazing result also for men.
And Jim, do you have a comment in regards to men and weight loss?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you just said. Most men tend to lose both weight and body fat faster than women do. And so anything that we saw, which was truly remarkable in this study with Zenith, will just be exaggerated, typically in men, just as, Danielle, is that you who was speaking?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes. So, and how long a time was that your husband lost that weight?
So he is on, so I just finished week 10 and I'm down 19.1 pounds, and I'm the person with perimenopause and metabolic syndrome and sluggish thyroid. So I am blown away. My aunt saw me this morning and was like, holy cow, when she saw me. My husband is 1 week behind me. So he's finishing week 9. He's only down about, last I checked, 9 or 10 pounds, but guys, it does not look, it looks well over 20 pounds when you see him. Mind blowing.
Great feedback. I see one question just about unbalanced leptin causing chronic lack of appetite. In this case, we wouldn't see that. It really what it is normalizing, as Lorna so well explained. It's really normalizing those elevated levels of leptin that kind of keep us wanting to eat more when we don't really need to. And so when that then becomes much more normalized and more effective, that leptin actually producing the effect of satiety, which is supposed to do normally, it helps normalize our hunger and satiety. So it's not a just, cut and dry appetite suppressant product. It's helping to normalize our appetite and our satiety.
There's a question about, is it safe to take if you're allergic to eggs? And the answer is yes, there's no egg or egg protein in the product.
Everyone asking about Canada. We are working on opening up Canada. We have our natural product number in progress, and we will be discussing that on a separate Zoom.
I live in Vancouver, Canada, so I can't wait till you're ready to go up here.
We're working fast. We're excited. Let's see, there was a few other questions, and then we're going to probably close it out. People are asking about the patents, how long on the patents. I don't know if you guys have that info or if we need to get that. Another question is about, is it a nanoceutical, a bioceutical, nutraceutical?
No nanotechnology is involved in this. It would be described or as a nutraceutical, yes.
Perfect. Let me see if
With
there's
respect to
any.
the cholesterol, there is cholesterol lowering data on the HPMCs itself. They did not look at cholesterol in this particular study. This was very much focused on the weight loss and the fat loss, and also the maintenance of lean body mass. These
And
are
we
some
also-
great questions.
We also had, are there any fillers in the product? And the second thing, Lorna, we discussed possibly like a simple eating plan to follow and releasing that maybe in October. Is that still going to be something we do?
So first, the answer to the question about fillers, no, there are no fillers. This is the reason why I think when in the
Beautiful.
Q&A, I said it's only these ingredients, which is
Wonderful.
awesome. We didn't have to put a lot of extra excipients in it. And absolutely, yes, I'm going to do an 8-week eating plan that kind of marries with the clinical research so that we're going to see even better results in people.
Perfect.
With respect to the patents, the most recent patent actually was published just a couple of years ago. And so that one is live and active for a while.
Perfect. All right. Are they easy to swallow? Big time, very much so. Very easy, but we are coming out with a packet, individual packets, guys, that'll be launched early next year for those who want to take it as a beverage and not a capsule.
Okay.
Oh, Beth is asking, you said something about metformin earlier.
Yes.
Lorna, I just want to make sure we get that understood again.
Well, Jim and I were talking about the AMPK action that we see with leptin and the HPMCs, and we were kind of smiling that it had a very similar effect to the drug metformin without the side effects. It hasn't been head-to-head clinically researched, so.
Understood.
And I think someone said, should I stop my metformin? And the answer is no. You should stay on your medications that your doctor has provided. And you could add this to it.
Excellent. All right, I think we are at the 2:00 hour. Anything else you guys wanted to add at the end? As far as anything important that you think we missed?
I think we covered a lot today and the questions
We
were
did.
excellent. And both Jim and I are very excited to help you grow the Zenith business and educate all of the people that are involved.
We are so grateful for you both. Thank you so much. I will post this later tonight, guys. Forgive my voice. You guys are keeping me busy. I sound like a 90-year-old, but I'm very excited if it doesn't sound like it. I'm so grateful for all of you that are excited about Zenith and about Awakened. And thank you, Lorna and Dr. Jim, for this amazing informational session. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you.
All the very best.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, guys.